Hello, thank you for joining us here today. This is Michael Halper from Sales Scripter, and today we're going to talk about how to use sales role play to increase sales. And if you're watching this, you most likely already appreciate the concept of role playing in sales. But let's first talk about why to role play and how it can help you, and then let's talk about how to incorporate that. And the reality is that if you were only going to change one thing, if you were just simply to add role play either to yourself or across your sales team, that one change is likely to create a tremendous impact and improvement in your results or your organization's results. And the reason why is, let's just look at athletes, for example. If you take a professional athlete, they just don't walk out on the field and jump into a game. No, they perform warm-up drills before the game. Not only are they warming up and practicing right before the game, but all during the week, they practice all sorts of drills and study the different plays and defenses and their opponent, and then they're prepared when they jump in the game. Without role playing, it's the equivalent of a professional athlete just sitting around all week, and then it's game time and they just jump in the game. And believe it or not, a lot of us salespeople, that's what we do. We don't think about what we're going to do, and then it's time to make a call or go to a meeting, and we just improvise. We just try to rely on our instinct and our gut and our experience, and we jump in there. And a lot of times we can sort of improvise our way through that. But if we're prepared, we can be better prepared for the defense that we're running up against, similar to an athlete. We can know how to respond to objections and how to handle certain situations and what questions to ask. Another reason why sales role play is important is because if you're a salesperson, there can be a lot of time between reps. In other words, there's a lot of time between conversations with a prospect, either on cold calls or a lot of time between meetings. And if you're not practicing in between those interactions, you can get a little rusty and forget about what questions to ask or how to respond to objections. So by practicing in your downtime or warming up before it's game time, you can greatly improve your performance. And it goes back to the concept of practice makes perfect. If you want to be a good salesperson and be sharp and generate leads and close deals and always know what to say and how to perform and improve your performance, it's not rocket science to have the assumption that the more you practice, the better you'll perform, the sharper you'll be. But we can actually take that concept of practice makes perfect to the next level. And I love this quote, which is, practice does not make perfect, only perfect practice makes perfect. And this makes sense. This is by Vince Lombardi. And the logic is that, let's just say you do take that next step and incorporate sales role play, and you're role playing your objection handling, but your objection handling responses are not very good. Well, when those objections come up, you may know exactly what to say in that moment, but if your responses aren't good, that doesn't help you much. It improves you from beyond not knowing what to say to where you know what to say, but if your responses are not optimum, your results won't go to the next level. So how we can get to that next level is to have perfect practice and perfect role play to truly get to that next level. And so a few ways to incorporate perfect practice would be to have a call script. So not just role play cold call scenarios, but actually have a script and a guide and use that for your role play. And hopefully you create a good cold call script. We can help you with that. Something else you might want to prepare and role play are your objection handling responses, like I said. So of course you want to role play objections. And if you have good objection handling techniques and good responses and you practice those, that is more like perfect practice. And we believe that it's all about asking good questions. The best salesperson asks the best questions. So certainly if you have a list of good questions to ask and you can role play that and practice that, that can greatly improve your ability to ask good questions when you're out there selling. If you're the leader of a sales organization, one of the reasons role-playing will greatly improve your organization is that it can help to decrease on-the-job learning. If you hire a salesperson, put them through some initial training, and then throw them out in their territory, what's going to happen is that they're going to learn through trial and error. They're going to make mistakes, and hopefully they'll learn, okay, that was a mistake, and then the next time that situation happens, they won't do that. Now, that's the best case scenario without role-playing, is that they make errors and they learn. Sometimes they don't learn and they continue to make those errors, but role-playing can decrease on-the-job learning, and it can decrease that trial and error. That trial and error is so expensive because every time there's an error made in the field in front of prospects, those are missed opportunities. Those, if you can reduce the trial and error through role-playing and perform that trial and error in practice scenarios and not in front of live customers, that can greatly reduce the deals lost, the missed opportunities. And If you add up all of that, then if your average time to get a rep from hire to performing at 100% is 6 weeks, if you role play, you can decrease that. You could chop that down to 4 weeks or 3 weeks. Role playing can also help you to improve underperforming reps. So every sales organization has reps that are under quota, not hitting sales targets. And by role playing, you can identify what are the things that they're doing wrong and help them to identify what they need to change. It can also help to improve confidence for underperforming reps. A lot of times underperforming reps just don't have the confidence, so they're not making enough calls because they don't have confidence. They don't know what to do. When you role play, it can improve that confidence, and that confidence can help them to make more calls and perform more sales activities. And when you combine that with fixing the things that they're doing wrong, you can correct underperforming reps. And when you correct underperforming reps, you decrease sales staff turnover, because when reps go from underperforming and not hitting quota, and by the way, they're not making as much money as they want and they're not selling as much as you want, then reps end up leaving. Either they leave because they want to go make more money somewhere else, or you have to let them go because they're not performing, and you're able to eliminate that with simply adding sales role playing. When you decrease reps leaving for whatever reason they leave, that decreases the amount of time and money you have to spend on recruiting and replacing them. And there's tremendous cost there, not only in spending money to recruiters, but so much cost in terms of time and deals that are lost when that position is open. Not only are you losing deals while that position is open, but while that new rep that you hire is being ramped up and they're learning through trial and error, there are a lot of deals lost there. And so you're able to eliminate all of this by simply adding sales role play. Now you hear that and you say, oh, that sounds great. That's a no-brainer. Let's role play. Let's role play as much as we can. The reality is that it's difficult to truly incorporate role playing for a couple reasons. One is, if you're a salesperson and you genuinely say, I want to practice, I want to role play, I want to get warmed up, it's difficult to find someone to role play, because you're going to go find a colleague and take them away from working, and they're busy, and that puts you in a situation where you're having to ask a favor, or what, you're going to go and then ask a manager to role play. And the reality is that if you are a salesperson and you're role playing with your manager or even another peer at the same level, it can be intimidating, because you have to be in a vulnerable state to make mistakes and show where you need improvement. And that can be very intimidating. And in a very competitive sales organization, you don't want to show that weakness. So a lot of times people that need to role play are intimidated to ask and go through that process. And the reality is that it can actually just be uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable for both parties. The person that's practicing, that needs the practice and is showing where they need improvement, that can be uncomfortable. It can also be uncomfortable for the person that's more senior and listening and practicing with the person, because they have to be there and sort of listen and witness some of the mistakes being made. So it can be uncomfortable for both parties. And because of this, none of us are really doing as much role playing as we need to. So all of that being said on why to role play and why it's actually difficult to role play as much as we should, now let's talk about how to effectively incorporate role play into your daily process or into your sales organization. And so let's talk about a few of the scenarios that you should be role playing. So first of all, if you are a salesperson and you're doing outreach over the phone, you should be role playing making cold calls. Cold calls are extremely fast. They're very difficult. They're very short. You have a lot of information to provide and talk about in a very small window of time. So you need to practice that. You can also practice meeting with prospects and appointments. Sit down with someone and practice, your first call, first appointment, first time sitting down with the prospect. You could practice the presentations that you deliver. You could practice the demos you give. You should certainly practice objections. You're guaranteed to run into objections on almost every cold call. Practice the objections that you can anticipate. There's only about 10 objections that are going to come up again and again. Practice those. It will greatly improve your ability to know what to say in the moment when those objections come up. So it's very simple. These are the different scenarios that you could or should be role playing. Now let's talk about where to role play or how to incorporate these. So first of all, if you're a sales manager, you could incorporate role playing these different scenarios into your weekly coaching meetings with your sales reps. Maybe those are weekly meetings with the entire team. You could add role-playing activities where you role-play with different members of the team in front of everybody. This could be weekly one-on-one meetings, and you could go through some of these scenarios with your different reps. You could partner up. Just throughout the day and throughout the week, reps with other reps, reps with managers, reps with people that are performing some sort of coaching function. You could add role playing of these scenarios to your new hire training. Great place to add role playing. You could also add role playing to your interview process. And the last scenario I want to share with you here is to simulate role playing. And this is something you might not have thought of. And let me show you why. And that's because at Sales Scripter, we've created a tool called Sales Simulator. And I want to show you this real quick. So let me flip over to Sales Scripter. I'm going to put on some headphones so I can demonstrate this. All right, so here I am, and I'm in Sales Simulator of Sales Scripter. So I just want to show you this real quick because this is a tool that will allow you to role play with yourself. So this eliminates all of those challenges of don't have someone to role play with, or you feel intimidated or feels uncomfortable. You can come here, role play with, basically it's like role playing with a bot or AI. And, while it's not perfect, right? I mean, it's much better to role play with a human than to role play with software, but it allows you to get some reps in, allows you to warm up, allows you to get your, just even, talk. Because sometimes we sit around and we're working and we aren't even talking, and then we end up on the phone and we haven't even talked in an hour to another human. So this allows you to get talking and to start, asking your questions and using your script. So it's a really helpful tool. I just want to show you this real quick. So in Sales Simulator, what you can do is you can basically role play 3 different scenarios. You can role play a prospect, you can role play a gatekeeper, or you could role play objections. So I'm just going to click prospect here, and I'm going to hit select, and this is going to start the role play scenario. So here's prospect, here's me.
Hello, this is Mark.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I am good.
Great. Do you have a minute?
I am available.
Great. I just was curious, who are you guys using for accounting?
We used to use Bank Center.
Oh, okay. How's everything going?
It could be more reliable.
Okay. Are you looking at other options?
We are happy with what we have.
Well, I would like to talk to you. Can I schedule a meeting with you?
Yes, I can meet.
Oh, you can meet right now?
Say that one more time.
Can I schedule a call with you tomorrow morning at 10?
No, I am not available.
How about in the afternoon?
Okay.
All right, I'll call you then. All right, so as you can see there, quick little demo of that. It's not perfect, right? You might say something that it doesn't know. It's not in the library. By the way, every time someone says something that it doesn't know, it basically says, what was that? Or can you say that one more time? Every time it does that, we add that to the library of different scenarios, different questions. And so it gets smarter every day. It's not perfect, but it's a good tool that you could use to warm up. And, if you haven't, maybe it's Monday morning and it was a long weekend, or you're just starting your day, or it's been a while since you've made calls. It's a great tool to kind of warm up. Anyway, so that's Sales Simulator. You get it free with the Sales Scripter product, but we're also providing subscriptions of it by itself. If you don't want all of our other tools, you could just, get Sales Simulator. And the way that most people might want to use that, and the easier way to use it if you're just using our simulation feature, is through our mobile app. We've already developed what I just showed you into a mobile app. So it's real easy. It's much easier than logging into the application and having it up on your screen. If you have it on your phone, you can just use your speakerphone or your headset. And so we've already developed the mobile app. We have an Apple version and we have an Android version. It's completely done, but it's not available yet. We're just in the process of submitting it to the different app stores. But by the time you're watching this video, most likely it will be available. So we will update in the description of this video where to go to get the mobile app and the status of the mobile app, but that is right around the corner. And so be on the lookout for that. That's pretty much it. That's all I want to share with you today regarding how to incorporate role play. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and things to think about regarding your own sales activities or your sales organization. If this has helped you in any way, you can return the favor by simply liking, commenting, sharing this video, subscribing to our channel. Any or all of those don't cost you anything, and they help us tremendously. If you like our tips, you might want to follow us on any or all of these social platforms. We provide daily sales tips on all of these platforms in the form of 30 to 60 second videos taken from our longer sales training videos. If you like some of these tips, everything I'm showing you here today is part of the SMART sales system. So SMART stands for sales messaging and response tactics. We believe that the way to improve sales or to be the best salesperson is to improve what you say. Your sales, the words you say and the words you write is your most powerful and important sales tool. And we help salespeople to improve by improving what they say, and that's by creating good sales messages and getting them to be able to respond in the right way to questions and objections. And so if you want to incorporate the SMART sales system, it's very easy for you to do. And by the way, we call it a system because it's a step-by-step thing that you can learn and implement for yourself or for your sales organization in the same way that you could implement a software application. So level 1 of the SMART sales system is to build your sales message. And then level 2 is once you have your sales message, to use that to create your call script or to create your emails, objection responses. And then level 3 is all about execution. So once we have our call script, how are we going about cold calling or cold emailing, objection handling? Now, the great news is that you can implement the SMART sales system for free because it's all on YouTube for free. Let me show you. This is a playlist on YouTube that you can get to. It's called the SMART Sales System, Sell Smarter, Not Harder. And basically, there's a whole playlist of videos here that will explain the SMART Sales System to you and take you through step by step. And it's completely free. Now, the reason why we give away all of this sales training for free is because we provide a software application called Sales Scripter, which you may or may not know at this point. Sales Scripter aligns with the SMART Sales System. So you can implement the SMART Sales System without Sales Scripter, but Sales Scripter aligns with every aspect of the SMART Sales System. So if you're buying fully into the SMART Sales System, Sales Scripter will make it easier for you to implement that. For example, to create your sales message, Sales Scripter provides an area called the Sales Message Builder, which is an area that allows you to put all of your information in, and it takes you through what is the product we sell, who are we targeting, what is our value, what are our pain points, what are our questions. Now, you could do this in a Word document, but you should actually have more than one sales message for the different audiences that you're targeting. If you do all that in a Word document for different audiences, it can get a little confusing. Having it all in Sales Scripter makes it easy because once you put your sales message and your answers into Sales Scripter, then you go to level 2, which is in Sales Scripter, there's an area called the Sales Playbook, which is a library of scripts and emails and voicemails, and all of these get filled in with your sales message. So all of your answers then are then used to fill up a library of documents. And sure, you could create all these documents again in Microsoft Word, but it's much easier to just let the software create all of those documents. And then level 3 is all about execution. So making those calls, sending those emails and whatnot. And Sales Scripter certainly has a CRM. You don't have to use it, but our full pro version of Sales Scripter has a CRM that helps you with cold calling and documenting calls and sending emails, email automation and whatnot. So if you want to go to the next level there, certainly I'm available. I provide consulting services where I'll help you to implement the SMART sales system. I help clients to create their sales message, build their scripts, help them with execution, and you can purchase consulting hours with me. If that's interesting, but you still don't know what to do next, another option for you is to purchase our book called The SMART Sales System, Sell Smarter, Not Harder, and you can get a copy of that on Amazon here. That's pretty much it. If you want more information or have any questions, go to salesscripter.com. You can get plenty of information there, more videos, more tips. You can contact us if you have any questions. That's pretty much it. Hope this was helpful. Hope you got some good tips. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.